Hi, I'm glad to see everybody. Let me introduce myself. My name is Victoria Nikolaevna Golovacheva, and I'm a professor. Department of Information and Computing Systems, Karaganda Technical University. Course Java Software Application Development for students enrolled in the educational program Information Systems. Today we have lecture number 2. Topic: Java Programming Language Vocabulary. In other words, lexicon. The plan of our lecture is presented on the slide number 2. We have 6 questions. The first question is alphabet. The second question is encoding. The third question is spaces. The fourth question is comments. Fifth question is basic tokens, identifiers, keywords, literals, separators, and operators. And the last question, basic Java operators. Okay, guys, please look on the next slide. You can see the purpose of our lecture. The purpose of our lecture is to study the vocabulary of the Java programming language, reveal the details of its internal structure. Okay, guys, please, on the slide number 4, you can see a question. What is vocabulary? Or another word, lexicon. The lexicon describes what the program text consists of, how it is described, and into which simple words, lexemes, the compiler splits the program during analysis. Lexemes are the basic building blocks of any Java program. Okay. Next slide, you can see the Java as a formal language. It includes alphabet, syntax, semantics, and pragmatics. So, what is alphabet? Alphabet is a finite ordered set of symbols. Next definition, syntax. Syntax is rules for writing constructions or operators from alphabet characters. Next definition, semantics. Semantics is a semantic side of language constructions. And pragmatics is the consequences of the language. Okay, next slide, guys. It presents the Java alphabet. The Java alphabet includes encoding, reserved words, symbols for writing identifiers, special symbols, comments, spaces, basic tokens. They are identifiers, keywords, literals, separators, and operators. So, coding. Java is Unicode oriented. The usual ASCII character set, American Standard Code for Information Interchange. ASCII, it is an abbreviation. ASCII, ASCII, which includes only the Latin alphabet, numbers, and the simple special characters, brackets, punctuation marks, arithmetic operation, and so on. Is it sufficient? This heat table you can find in the internet without any problems. Okay. Next, program analysis. The compiler analyzing the program immediately divided it into white spaces, comments, and basic tokens. Okay. Next slide, guys. You can see white spaces. In this case, spaces are four symbols that break the program text into tokens, or lexemes, in other words. This is both the space character itself, space \U0020 decimal code 32, as well as steps and line feeds. They are used to separate tokens and also to decorate the code to make it easier to read. Okay. This slide presents the spaces in Java. First of all, you can see ASCII symbol SP, space. Next, ASCII symbol HT, horizontal tab. Horizontal tab. HT, it is an abbreviation. Okay. Next, symbol, ASCII symbol, FF, double F, form fit. And the last symbol, line termination. Okay. Next slide presents comments. Comments don't affect the results in binary code and are used only to enter explanations for the program. In Java, comments are of two kinds: line comments, block comments, and documentation comments. Okay, first of all, line comments. Line comments begin with ASCII characters // and last until the end of the current line. Typically, they are used to clarify this particular line. For example, integer variable y equals 19 and 17. Double slash, we can see its first year. Next comment, block comments. Block comments are located between ASCII characters slash asterisk sign and asterisk sign and slash. They can occupy an arbitrary number of lines. For example, you can see a fragment of the code. Next, documentation comments. Next comment is documentation comment. There is a special type of block comment, developer comment, used to automatically generate code documentation. Documentation comments start with slash, double asterisks, and end with slash, and can also span one or more lines. The compiler ignores this kind of comments, just as the slash and asterisk sign slash comments are ignored. Basic lexemes in Java. They are identifiers, keywords, literals, separators, and operators. So, first of all, identifiers. Names given to language elements to make them easier to access. Identifiers can be written in Unicode characters. Consists of letters and numbers, underscore and dollar signs. Identifiers don't allow matches with service words, literals true, false, null. The name is not limited in length. You should remember about identifiers. Okay. In this picture, guys, you can see different kinds of identifiers examples. Please look in this picture carefully and remember them. For example, okay, next, keywords. Definition. Keywords are special identifiers that the Java language uses to identify built-in types, modifiers, and program execution controls. There are 60 reserved words in the Java language today. In this slide, in this picture, you can see Java keywords. You should remember them. With practice. Next, guys, literals in Java. A literal is a fixed value representation of the source code. Literals are constants written according to the rules of the Java language. They are represented directly in the code without any computation. Literals allow you to specify values for numeric, character, string, and non-literals in your program. Literals in Java can be assigned to any variable of the primitive type. Okay, guys, next slide. You can see that there are 6 types of literals defined in Java. They are integer, floating point, Boolean, character, string, and non-literal. Let's look at integer literal first. Here are some examples of integer literals. For example, you can see decimal number 46 in octal form, it will be 056. For example, the row IB, it will be 171 in 71. Prefix 0 is used to denote an octal number, and the prefix 0x is used to denote a hexadecimal number when using these numeration systems for literals. There are 3 possible number systems in Java language. Decimal, it's a traditional system. Octal record starts with 0, 8, and 9 are not allowed. Hexadecimal record starts with 0x or 0x big, except for digits from 0 to 9, A, B, C, D, E, F are used. For example, guys, please look at this picture carefully. You can see integer num equals 2200 int data type, and 200 it's literal. It's literal. Byte, int, long, and short can also be expressed in decimal. It means that base 10. Hexadecimal, it means that base 16. Or octal, base 8 number system. For example, byte A equals 68. Chart A equals A in single quotes. Example 2 in decimal equals 100, or int octal equals 0144, and int hexa equals 0x64. In this picture, in this table, you can see primitives. Primitive type. You already know about them: Boolean, chart, byte, short, int, long, float, double, and void. their size, minimum, maximum, and wrapper type. Okay. Next slide, guys. For example, hello world. String literals are specified in the same way as in most other languages, by enclosing a sequence of characters between a pair of double quotes. Example number 3. Hello world. Example number 4. Character literals describe a single Unicode character enclosed in single quotes or apostrophes. String and character literal types can contain any Unicode characters. A special notation is also allowed to describe a symbol through its code. For example, Latin letter A, you can see its code, Russian letter 8, and Greek letter 8. A. Letter A. Next slide, guys. Fractional literals. Fractional literals are floating decimal point numbers. The rules for writing such numbers are the same as in the most modern programming languages. In Java, fractional number of 32-bit float and 64-bit double are stored in memory in binary form in the format standardized by the IEEE 754 specification. Full name: Standard for Binary Floating Point Arithmetic. ANSI/IEEE standard 754-1985. New York. This specification describes not only finite fractional values, but also several other special values, namely positive and negative infinity, the value not a number, short form NaN, positive and negative zeros. Examples you can see on this slide. Please look on it carefully. Next time, it presents table named real types. Real types. You can see type, bit depth, range, accuracy. Type can be float or double. Therefore, bit depth is 4 or 8. Their range and accuracy. Okay, next slide, guys. Boolean literals. Boolean literals have two possible values, true and false. These two reserved words are not keywords, but they also cannot be used as identifiers. Variables of this type can take a value which is written as true or false. True or false. We have condition. For example, 5 more 0. If 5 more 0, it's true. True 5 is indeed more than 0. So the expression 5 more 0 will be true. Okay. null-literal. The null type has one value and no reference, represented by the null-literal null, which is formed from ASCII characters, and null-literals is always of type null. Next slide, guys. Separators. Separators, definition, are special characters that are used for the service purposes of the language. The Java language uses the following characters as separators: round brackets, curly braces, square brackets, semicolon, comma, and point. For example, round brackets used to pass perimeter list in definition and method call to indicate coefficient and operator precedence in expression used in control statements. Okay. This slide into Russian language. Let's give a simple program, hello world, and then classify and count the token used. Please look in this program and count carefully. You can see that the above program has one developer comment, okay, 7 identifiers, 5 keywords, 1 string literal, 13 separators, and no operators. This text can be saved in the demo.java file, compiled and run. The result of the work will be as obvious. Hello world. Next slide, guys. Please look at the next slide. It presents the following information. Java provides a rich set of operators for manipulating variables. All Java operators can be divided into the following groups: arithmetic operators, comparison operators, bitwise operators, logical operators, assignment operators, and other operators. For example, arithmetic operators. Arithmetic operators are used in mathematical expressions in the same way they are used in algebra. Suppose integer variable a is 10 and variable b is 20. The following table lists arithmetic operators in Java. Please look in this table carefully. For example, first operator plus. Plus, next you can see description operators and example. Plus adds values on either side of the operator. For example, a plus b will be 13. It's true because a is 10 and b is 20, and so on. Okay, next slide, guys. A simple example shows programmatically arithmetic operators. On the left, you can see a programming code, and from the right, on the right, you can see the result. Okay. Next slide, guys. You can see comparison operators. We have operator, description, and example. Suppose variable a is 10 and variable b is 20. Double equal. For example, checks if the values of two operands are equal or not. If yes, then the condition becomes true. For example, operators more or equal. Description checks if the value of the left operand is more than or equal to the value of the right operand. If yes, then the condition becomes true. And we have examples of it. A more or equal b, the value is not true because a is 10 and b is 20. Okay. Next slide, guys. It shows a simple example. Shows programmatically the comparison operators in Java. On the left, you can see programming code. On the right, you can see result. Okay, next slide. Next slide, Bitwise Operator. Bitwise Operator, Java defines several bitwise operators. Can be applied to integer types. In, long, short, char, and byte. In Java, the bitwise operator works on bits and performs the operation bit by bit. Suppose if a equals 16 and b equals 13, then in binary they will be as follows. In this table, we have operators, its description and example. Next slide, guys. A simple example shows programmatically bitwise operators in Java. On the left, we have a programming code. On the right, we can see a result. Next slide, guys, logical operators. We can see a table that includes operator, logical operators, its description and example. Suppose Boolean variable a is true and variable b holds false. A simple example shows programmatically logical operators in Java. Please look in this programming code carefully on the right and on the left. And on the right you can see result. Next slide, guys, you can see a table named assignment operators. It includes assignment operators, their description and example. First of all, you can see equal operator. This simple assignment operator assigns value from the right side of the operands of the left side. Okay. So on. Next slide, you can see a simple example shows programmatically assignment operators in Java. On the left, you can see programming code, and on the right, you can see the result. Next slide, guys. Other operators. Ternary operator. What does it mean? Definition. Ternary operator, an operator that consists of 3 operands and is used to evaluate expressions of byte Boolean. The ternary operator in Java is also known as a conditional operator. The purpose of a ternary operator or conditional operator is to decide what value should be assigned to a variable. This operator is written as variable x equals, in the bracket you can see expression in general, question sign if true or if false. Okay, next slide. You can see a simple example shows programmatically ternary operator in Java. Programming code on the left and its result. Operator instance of checks if an object is of a specific type, class type, or interface type, and is only used for variables of the reference object. The instance of operator is written as reference object variable, next instance of, and the bracket, you can see interface class / type. If the variable of the referenced object on the left side of the statement passes the test for the class type of the interface on the right side, the result is true. Below is an example and description of interface of operator, and the result of this programming code is true. Okay, the operator will still return true if the object being compared is type compatible for the assignment type. Another example follows. You can see programming code on the left, and on the right you can see its result. The result is true. Next slide, guys. It shows operator precedence in Java. Operator precedence in Java is like math. You already know about it from school course of math. Okay, guys, have you any question? If you have a question, I will answer on it with pleasure. Now, guys, you can see control questions. We have 6 control questions. They are simple. The first question, what is Java alphabet? The next, what is encoding? Third, what are spaces? Fourth, what are comments? Fifth, what are basic tokens, identifiers, keywords, literals, separators, operators? And the last question, please list basic Java operators. You should answer this question using resources. You already know about these resources from the lecture number 1. And the internet textbooks, video, basic video, Java, for example. Okay. Thank you very much for your attention.